My name is Kelly. I'm 26 years old. I suffer from anxiety, depression, dissociation, and all is linked. Mostly of it is from my childhood. So I really wanted to make this video because I just really needed to come out in the way of my history, I would say my past, and in the hope that maybe someone can look at this video and be like, I really recognize myself in you, and the things that you're saying right now are really heartwarming and the words that I need. I never had really close contact with my parents, especially not emotionally, of course. But of course, the daughter or the son always goes more to the mother, and you have always a better connection with the mother than the opposite sex. So if there was something wrong with me, or if I needed to have a talk, I always went to my mom. My father is really, close and turned him to himself. I don't think he really knows how it is, to talk about feelings and to talk about life in general. Things that are really important to a human being to, as a child, to talk about, or just as an adult right now. Thank God I have a twin sister that I was always, playing with and could rely on. Today I still have a lot of problems with that, because I never felt the love that my mom or father gave me, the emotional connection that you also needed as a little child when something was going on and you felt anxious and you walked to your parents, and one of them, for example, said, when, as a kid I basically was suffering from anxiety, and every time I went to my mom, she was like, if I felt something and I just wanted to get sure it was nothing, because in my mind I was convinced it was, she always said to me that things like, oh yeah, it's something bad, you're gonna die from it. So when we were anxious, me, my sister, both, and we tried to seek just like a feeling of comfort and safety, that it's okay, that nothing will happen. But they did kind of the opposite, so we got even more scared and insecure. That for me was also really a sign of, as a child with your parents, you should supposed to feel comfortable and feeling safe, feeling warmth and love. But the way how we've talked to each other already all my life is kind of distant and cold. If I compare myself, our education situation right now with other families. When I was getting older and older, things got eventually also worse. there was also moments that my father got really aggressive, and he lost control over himself, and basically what he did was just torturing us and hitting us. All my life I've been, hearing from them, one, that I'm a failure, two, that, like, always the focus on the negative things. If something positive happened in my life, they didn't compliment me that much that I would feel satisfied from what I did. And it was always when something went wrong, they handled to it. Day to day I still have to swallow a lot from them, and when I say a lot, it's unbelievable crazy. I also went to therapists to tell my story, to get some help, because I've developed anxieties and dissociation through the years because of being anxious and not knowing where to go as a child. And at that moment it was traumatized for me, and I kind of started protecting myself with dissociation. As I get older and older, the dissociation was getting worse and worse, anxiety, everything. I started to lose myself in stealing, in alcohol, in so many things. I was not really myself. I was on a high dose of medication prescribed by my doctor. I felt so drugged and not myself anymore. I also had this period in my life that I was dressing myself kind of dark, having black, blue hair. I think we all went through this kind of period, not everyone, but yeah, it was just so weird. And things that I did sometimes, when I think about it right now, it really kind of shocks me that I actually did that. Because now I wouldn't. So I just feel all my life that I'm kind of lost in this big world, trying to find myself and to feel love for myself. It's something that I still didn't accomplish to feel. At times there were periods that I felt more and more self-security, but it was not because of myself that I gave myself these feelings, but because of other ones. And by that I mean love. It's such a sensible theme in my life. Love, being loved by someone, loving someone, walking on clouds, getting hugged, feeling that you're special. Something that I've been having all my life. I kind of need love to survive, and it's kind of an addiction. It's really strange. But deep down I know that, from generation to generation, my parents don't know better than just thinking really straight and not out of the lines. And that is really something that doesn't match with how I think and experience life. I really don't like to follow the mainstream 9-to-5 jobs, just being a zombie, what they call it. And I'm really sensitive, and I really have moments a lot that I feel in this state that I question a lot. And it's also a plus point for being creative, that you have so many ideas to work out. But when you have anxiety, it's not always good because it can trigger also a lot of stress and anxiety, insecurities, everything. So it's really crazy how much I've already been through in my life. That people are like, you're still alive, you know, you're strong. But when people say or tell me that I'm strong, I don't feel strong because I kind of feel weak, to be honest. If I compare my life with others, I feel like I'm less worth. But on the other hand, if you think psychologically, I can maybe stand way much further than most people, and that's a plus. It's, you know, I always find it so weird when I entered the family. Everyone was so warm with each other, so different, because I always thought that getting insulted and feeling warmth, love, feeling at home, I would say, was kind of the life how it was. I didn't know better until I came in contact with other families, and I was always so jealous and shocked. And yeah, that's basically how it mostly goes. What I've been hearing all my life is screaming every day. When my mom talks, it's like she's just yelling in a way. Her voice is always so high, and it's just so stressful and painful to realize that these people brought you on the world. Especially my mom, who has had 4 like misbirths. Then I would just say, you know, like I would feel so blessed to have 2 children, and yeah, I just want to have, you know, the best for them in her place. But it feels in a way that I'm like unwanted or so. I've had to swallow so many stuff, from words with sentences with loading of, you know, heavy kind of content. Calling me a whore or calling me a bitch, saying I look like a hooker and stuff like that. Or my father being really, really aggressive and saying stupid bitch, and you know, that I'm not much worth. Also, like the moment that maybe my parents said sorry for their behavior, I think the moment that I still remember my mom said sorry is like one time. They never apologized for what they said, no, never. The only thing that they would do is just blame me and saying that I'm the cause of the fact that they are angry or that they are frustrated, and that they say these things. When I confront them with the fact, also in the 6 years therapy I've followed, it was all about my identity. They just deny it, and they don't see they are the cause of my problems. The only thing they want is me to move on and get a good life, the life as many people lead. That's basically the only thing they really want, and I think they really know, because there is so much more than only the mainstream. But you know, every time when I try to talk about me feeling anxious, having symptoms, how I feel, how lost I feel, and they always say just go to a shrink, get some meds. Well, I am now meds, but get some new meds and just go to an institution, because they can help you and you feel reborn when you come back. That's how straight they think. They just think that it's the same as cancer or so, or other, I'm not gonna say really cancer because it's not the right example. But you know, when you have a cold or when you have something, headache, you just take a pill and it's gone. But what's going inside someone's mind, no one can know, only you. And there is no pill that will take all the pain away, all the symptoms away that you're feeling. And that's really weird that people can think that in that way you can get cured. It can help you to feel less anxious, feel less detached, dissociated, whatever you can call it. But in the end, the pain you've already been through, time is not reversible, so it's wounds and they will never go away. It will heal a bit, but the scar will always be there. And you can turn time back to make everything undone. The only thing you can try to do is to focus on the fact, you know, just let the fact of turning back time rest, because it's not possible. What we still can do is try to deal with all these kinds of things that happened in our life and try to give it a place and put the positivity out of it, because that's something that is really hard for me to still do lately, to put positivity out of negative circumstances. If I'm ever able to forgive my parents, I don't know. If I feel hate towards to them, it's really, I feel disgusted from everything they already put me through. I feel anger, and I feel, in a way, captured, imprisoned by them, I don't know, in my mind. And it's like, sometimes I think that the moment that they can't reach me anymore at so many, just can't reach me anymore, I would say. Can be because of different circumstances and not being able anymore to hear them or see them and never get confronted with them anymore. I think at that time I will feel free. I know that I'm not the only one who has really problems with these kind of stuff, heavy stuff. You know, like every situation is different, but I know that out of there will be some people that can relate what I'm saying or what I said, so, and I really hope it can help people to recognize themselves. No matter with how many therapists you will go, they will all do the same. They just sit in front of you, you just talk about stuff that happened, and basically they just send you home, and the thing you have to do is deal it yourself for the rest till next week or within a few weeks. Then you talk an hour about your problems, and then it's like, okay, it's really bad, writing some things down, you can pay, and then you're outside, and what then? Then you have to do it yourself. The last year of my therapy was so horrible that every time when I came in, I came out more upset, because I put my hopes every time I went in so badly that I would feel relieved, feel more relaxed, but then I brought everything up, and then I was like, so yeah, what can I do to deal with this? Well, your dissociation that you're experiencing, I'm sorry, but there is not much we can do about that, except the right meds, and just sit it out until it will sink a bit. That's always the explanation that I got. I went to so many, like psychiatrists, I was looking for psychologists, and in the end it was always, I've learned more about myself, I gained more human knowledge and also knowledge about myself, about how things work. But in the end, to find myself, to keep, if I just feel that I've found myself a bit back, or it's hard to explain, but that I feel more myself, a self, then doesn't need much to feel back, but that it will get smashed to feel lost again. And these people always succeed in doing that. Situations that happen in my life, ex-boyfriends, girlfriends, friendships, it all succeeded in losing myself and then climbing on the top and be there, and then doesn't need much to again. I need to climb the top. People who have cancer, people who have had, a stroke or anything like that. Everyone knows that it's really something kind of dangerous, and they all have respect for that. But when it comes to being ill, I would say, in your mind, I don't know if ill is the right word, then it's another story, a hard one. So I really wanted to share this with you. Thank you for just watching. Thank you for listening to my story, just in general lines. I can always go further into things if you want me to. Don't forget, you're not the only one. That there are other strangers in this world who go through the same as you do. From here, I want to give you a big virtual hug and say to you,